What's going on, traders? My name's Clay, coming at you for Top One Trader, and we're going to look at some of the pairs that we have for the week in our weekly outlook video, and we're going to be looking at the yen specifically because, let me pull it up here. We have Bank of Japan on the 30th. I think this is going to be pretty significant because of the huge moves that we've had in the past week on the yen. So I'm going to look at that. We're going to look at the FOMC, right? So this is Wednesday. Now, first week of August, summer months, summer trading, I think is pretty much done, and we're about to get into some big volatility. June, July historically are more slower months, and I'd say it has been for the most part this month, but minus these big yen moves, and there's been some big cross moves. There's been some volatility, but I think it's going to really accelerate going into August, going into September, and then October, and then of course I think something big is happening in November. I can't remember what it might be off the top of my head here, but I feel like it's going to affect us all. So with that being said, we also have NFP closing it out on Friday. So it's going to be a big week. Inflation for Aussie Tuesday, Bank of Japan interest rate statement. They always do this tentative. They never tell you what time it's going to be, which is super frustrating. So I would suggest staying away from the yen and probably just Asian session altogether on Tuesday, and then Wednesday coming into FOMC, and I think we're going to be in quite a holding pattern on the dollar until we lead up to that. Bank of England on Thursday, dude, it's going to be a packed week. So looking at these yen moves though, like this is just insane. Hopefully some of y'all took these and got in on them. I had a short on Aussie yen here for 120 pips, and it went 1,000. But it's okay. I remember I shot a video and I was like, yeah, sometimes it's good to take your little slice of the pie here, but damn, look at that. It looks like we're flagging in a lot of these pairs right now. So if we take a look at AJ, very similar, pretty much identical in most of these pairs. CAD yen, and I think this is really forming Wyckoff schematic here. So it's gonna, I would think that we're gonna start to accumulate down here at the bottom and start going sideways because of these big impulsive moves here in CAD yen, EJ, huge move on Euro yen. So it's gonna be a pretty big deal. I'd love to try to get in, by the way. I'm gonna be looking for entries on the sell side somewhere, on these yen moves, like somewhere right in here, right? If I can we can retest this area of supply, boom, right, and then come in here, and then if this provided some sort of entry on a pullback, something like this. That looks so small in comparison to where we are, or the moves that we've had. So now let me show you this though, because this reminds me of some moves that happened this time, or not this time last year, but at the end of last year. Huge sell-off. Let's take a look at, look familiar? Huge sell-off, and then price came back. This is December, and then this is that retest of the supply area. So this is very, this is a pretty typical move of the yen, and this is what I'm going to be looking to get into, right? So now this happened December last year before Christmas. I remember this distinctly because I had a huge trade on GJ at this time. So the markets, the patterns repeat themselves over and over and over, and our job is to be able to recognize the patterns when they start to repeat themselves. So this is it right here. Big sell-off, pullback, and then there's another one, right? Retesting this area of supply. So big impulsive move. We went sideways, flagged, and then so man, that I think we'll see what happens. The Bank of Japan, if this makes another drop, that would be crazy. But anything can happen. So that's going to be the thing I'm really watching for. Of course, looking at these dollar pairs, Euro USD, retesting some support here. I talked about this in last week's weekly outlook video. We had just retested and we just went sideways. So, but here is push down, went sideways, flagging, right? I love these like flagging moves. It's consolidation. GU, this is GJ. GU, we've caught a couple nice trades on pound dollar. So breakdown. So this is something that I'm going to be looking for going into the week, but this is going to be on Friday. So keep an eye out for Friday because obviously it's the Fed, and then the Fed is going to kind of prep up for NFP. I have a feeling that the NFP might be a bit of a dud, but we'll see. So kind of inverted head and shoulders going on here on the dollar index, but for me, if I get in on a dollar pair, it's like potentially dollar weakness, it might be shorting dollar CAD. I think that would be a potentially good play, or trying to get in on a pullback after these big impulsive moves with New Zealand, which is retesting these supports right here. Aussie is super similar. So it's going to be a stacked week, so keep your risk tight. Let's have an awesome week, everybody. We appreciate you from top one, and let's absolutely crush it and finish the last quarter coming up of the year super, super, super strong. Let's go.